Howdy folks, and I hope you're all happy and healthy wherever you are in collecting land. And welcome back to the channel for another episode of Grail or Fail. For the uninitiated, Grail or Fail is where we revisit an action figure or statue widely considered to be a classic and find out if it's still deserving of that Grail status today. And up for your consideration today is Neca's quarter-scale Jungle Hunter Predator. From the John McTiernan directed 1987 classic that started it all. But before we dive in with the big guy, I'd like to send an enormous thank you to everyone who's supported the channel, and please drop a like on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon. Not only will you not miss out on any of the action figure antics that we've got coming up, and trust me, there's a lot of it, but you'll also be making this old collector very happy in his golden years. So everybody wins. So with all the controversy surrounding Hot Toys' recent announcement of their 1/6 scale 2.0 Jungle Hunter, I thought we would step back in time to the days when Neca made stunning quarter scale figures and you didn't have to sell a kidney on Craigslist to be able to afford one. Now I think there are, now correct me in the comments section if I'm getting this wrong, but I believe they initially released in 2011 3 different versions of this figure. There was a biomass figure, an open mouth figure and a closed mouth figure, and then moving on to 2016 they re-released the helmeted version with LED lights, which is the one that we're looking at today. I'm still hunting for the other 3 that are out there, and hopefully they will get bagged soon and be up for review on the channel. But the mass version with the LED lights is the one that we're going to be looking at today. But enough of my Predator ponderings, let's dive in and find out if the big guy is a Grail or a fail. Let's start with proportions, and straight away Neca have absolutely nailed it on with the proportions here. It is absolutely excellent. The scale is just right, weighs in at about 18 inches tall, and I tend to display him alongside I've got a Sideshow Dutch quarter scale statue, and they just work perfectly together. They bounce off each other brilliantly. The scale is absolutely nailed on, and the likeness to Kevin Peter Hall in that suit from the movie is most certainly there, 100%. The body shape, the proportions, absolutely nailed on. But we will have a once over with this guy. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up as we always do. Fair to mention at this point as well, this isn't the base that this figure came with. This isn't the stand. As with all Neca figures, it didn't come with a stand. You have to provide your own. Although he is really stable on his pins. The joints are solid, and those feet, obviously, those oversized feet are so huge that he's super stable anyway. So you can freestand this guy. But what I tend to use is this base here, which is from the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Thanos, the Endgame battle damage version, and I just find it really versatile. I've got several of these bases, and every time I see one pop up on eBay I pick it up because it just works really well with 6 scale, quarter scale, whatever you want to throw at it. Super versatile. So yeah, but the actual figure itself, well, yeah, as you can see, this guy has aged incredibly well. And considering the price point that this guy comes in at, and he isn't super expensive, you can still pick him up on eBay today. Doesn't go for an absolute fortune, but really, when I display it alongside the Sideshow Dutch statue, it comes off as being far more expensive than it actually is. There are some downsides, and we'll cover those, but let's start at the bottom. Those huge oversized feet, beautifully painted, beautifully sculpted, digits all in the right place, sculpted in plastic sandals on there with that sort of covering section at the top there. The leather bands on those sandals are sculpted in as well. The armor itself, really nicely done, weathered very well. There's dinks, there's scratches, there's muck and dirt on there in abundance, and they're just really nice. Could probably do with a little bit more. It's one of those jobs I've not quite got around to, and there's a few of those with this particular piece. I've always sort of threatened to do numerous things to it, but it's always ended up on the back burner. The body itself, the articulation, well, it's not the best in the world, I've got to say. It's you've got a sort of swivel at the thigh section there, and there's a heavy-duty ratchet joint at the knee there with a vast amount of movement in it, but it is very, very stable. We'll take a closer look at the articulation when we go for the static cam shot, but overall, yeah, really nicely done. And the first thing that strikes me, apart from the proportions and the muscularity being on point, is this skin underneath the mesh. Now, I think they've done a cracking job here. Neca have really nailed that, how was it described? Rotten banana flesh. And there's sort of hints of yellow in there, there are creams, there are beige colours, and they're all highlighted by these sculpted in raised black dots which fade in and fade out at the right sections there. Right, you see that at the kneecap there, and on the thigh section there, and they're shiny where they should be shiny and dull where they should be dull, and just beautifully done. And up to the codpiece loincloth. Now, this I have always meant to give another couple of washes to. It's a little bit on the monotone side with that sculpted brown plastic. Could do with a little bit more detailing on there. Something I will get round to eventually. Just some different shades of brown in there. I'll probably make that pop a little bit more and make it a little bit more leather-like. But straight out of the box, it does the job really, really well. And the metallic paint applications on the belt at the top there and on the metallic section of the codpiece, really, really nice. We'll take a look at the thigh armour and around the back of him, and when we zip him round, he's a handful, this guy. So yeah, he's a big chap. The abdomen area, once again, you've got a continuation of that really beautiful sculpt and paint application. It's the proportions really kick in here. I've seen many Predator figures in all different scales where the Jungle Hunter version in particular, where the abs have been too defined and there's too much paint application on there. I think what Neca have given us here really works. They're there, those abs are there, but they're not overly defined. And you can see as well, running up from that abdomen section all the way up to the chest area, Neca have actually included those little quills, those spikes, and they've painted them in a super high gloss black, and they just pop really well. And you've got those dots around the side as well. Both of the necklaces here going on, the bone necklaces, well, 3 of them, 1 around his neck and the 2 across the shoulders. Really nicely done. The string that they've used there is plastic coated, so hopefully that will stand the test of time, and this one most certainly has. If I had any complaints here, I mean, around this side you've got the collection of skulls going on, and around the other side obviously you've got the vertebra, the spinal column there. They could do with perhaps a little bit of a paint wash on there to pick out the details, and that's probably one of my overall gripes about this figure in other areas as well, is perhaps the paint washes could be slightly better. But we've got to remember, Neca are working to a budget here, and although the paint could be slightly better, the accuracy's there and the scale's there, and the same for that bone necklace around his neck as well. Really nicely done, but could do with a little bit of a wash. The chest plate, the half chest plate, and the plasma cannon. Right, well, where to begin with these? I think probably worth mentioning at this point as well, because it is a common complaint amongst fans of Predator figures, is the scale of the plasma cannon, the plasma caster. On this one, I think it's absolutely nailed on. We have seen 6-scale versions where it's too small. I think Neca have got it just right. The size, the proportions, we'll take a look at the backpack when we spin him round, but the pipes on there, and that battle damage again that you can see there with the scratches and the dinks, and the weathering in the paint applications, all really nice. Probably, and I'm going to go back to this paint applications thing again, the paint applications on the plasma caster itself are a little flat, a little monotone. They could be better. I think it looks like they've just gone for sort of one flat silver application. There is a little bit of weathering going on there and a little bit of washing, but overall I think it could be slightly better, but still very good indeed at this price point. Shoulder armor, excellent, weathered as well. The gauntlet, the computer gauntlet, yeah, very nicely done, if once again slightly lacking in the paint application department. And it's the same on the other gauntlet as well. I really like this, the gauntlet with the blades. I think it looks really good, but it's sculpted very well. But as you can see there, to me that's a little lacking in the paint department. It looks like you've just got sort of one coat of dull gold, and then it's been picked out with some silver to highlight the detailing. Could be better on. That's just my opinion. I think, but you've got to, as I said, take into consideration the price point. The infamous biomask. Oh, where to begin? How many debates have there been about this biomask? I think Neca have done a cracking job here. I'm not going to go into eye size and battle damage and the material used for the eyes and I'm not that anal about Predator figures being absolutely down to the minutiae 100% accurate, but for me this fits just right. I think it's very, very good. It's weathered, you've got some battle damage going on in there, in between the eyes and on the top of the helmet itself. You can actually see that skin from the face underneath the biomask, which is screen accurate. The weathering's really nice. You would be forgiven for thinking from a distance that this helmet is actually metal, but it's not. I think they've just done an amazing job. Take a look at the dreads when we spin him round. Worth mentioning the light up features as well at this point. This biomask actually does come off. And underneath you've got space for button cell batteries, and there is a little button here on the side of the helmet, really well concealed where these wires go in. And you just push that little section in there, and I'll see if I've not actually removed the divider for the batteries, but we'll do that when we go in for a final verdict on this guy. Yeah, and that little button just pushes in there, and the three lasers, the three red dots, light up there. Not the brightest in the world, but they do the job if you're into your light up features. And he's also got a light up feature on the wrist as well on the computer, but we'll take a look at that when we spin him round. So yeah, that's him from the front. Let's take a look at him from the back. Not that he ever gets displayed from the back, but here he is from the rear. And once again, you've got that same level of detailing that you saw at the front there. The back of this loincloth is sculpted plastic and could probably do with a little bit more of paint application on there. It's a bit flat. You've got some browns in there, a couple of shades of brown, but yeah, could probably do with a little bit of livening up, as could that pouch on the back there. But once again, as I say, always keeping in mind the price point that this guy comes in at. And as you can see here, well, we can actually lift this wrist computer up at this point. That lifts up there, and the whole thing lights up. As you can probably see that plastic tab underneath, you just pull that out and this whole thing will light up. To access the light up feature on the biomask, all you need to do is just pull it off, and really, really simply done. But yeah, you can see that skin texturing running down the arms there, and in the back area as well. Really, really nice. And this paint applications and detailing on the plasma caster and backpack. Now, this is another thing that often gets misscaled, I think, by figure manufacturers. It's too small. On the whole, it tends to be too small, along with the plasma caster as well. But I think Neca have absolutely knocked it out of the park here. I think it's great. I think the scale is absolutely on. Perhaps just as I said, maybe tweaking in the paint department might have helped. And those dreads, all individual dreads are really hard rubber, with the gold braiding in there, just absolutely excellent. Right length, the right colour, and they fall fantastically, and super durable as well, which is great to see. So that's him from the back. I think what we need to do now is go in for a final verdict on Neca's Pred. Okay folks, so before we deliver a final verdict on the Pred, let's just have a quick look at articulation. Let's see if we can't manhandle this hefty beast, and see what the articulation's like. It's not the best in the world, as I mentioned. I mean, you've got a ratchet joint there, heavy duty ratchet at the knee, but it'll go back to about almost 45 degrees, give or take. There's a bit of swivel there at the top of the waist and the top of the leg. But as with all Neca quarter scale figures, when you move these, because of the nature of the joints, as you can see there, that that loincloth area, that plastic loincloth area, isn't all one piece, so it moves with the leg itself, which can throw it off a little bit. I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's if you're a stickler for your articulation in your quarter scale figures, you've come to the wrong place, let's put it that way. But yeah, you do get a decent amount of movement. You can see the weathering on those plates on the thigh section that I mentioned there as well. Also forgot to mention the hands and accessories. This guy does not come with any accessories other than one swap out hand, which is the right hand for use with the wrist computer to self-detonate, and it's that sort of pointy finger hand. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the articulation on this guy, you've got that sort of that bend at the elbow there, but that's limited as well to get the arm in the right place. Yeah, you can see there's a certain amount of movement, but there's no way on God's green earth you're going to get this arm to reach over to this arm for this hand to actually touch the screen here. So if you're going to go for that pose, really is off menu, unfortunately. But once again, as I say, not a deal breaker. And the hands themselves, really nicely done. It's pretty much the same quality as the feet there. The detailing's really good. The paint applications are excellent. That silver detailing on the back of the gloves there. That sort of leather effect paintwork, and then that hole on the back there where you can see the skin through there. Really nicely done. And this, I'll just demonstrate quickly. This just pops open. There's a little tab that you take out there, and this whole thing should light up, and it's not at the moment. There are fresh batteries in there. Maybe I should switch it on first, that always helps. But as you can see, LEDs are really bright on that wrist computer. Even in this light you can see that. Not so bright on the biomask, and that's another thing. Let's see if we can't just lift this camera up a little bit so you can see this. I'll bring him right in. The biomask itself lifts off. I'll just demonstrate here, and comes off all in one piece, and then you've got the inside here of the mask itself with a battery compartment. Just pop that little piece of plastic out, and you're good to go, which has just flown off somewhere, and then you just pop the biomask back on. Little button on the side of the helmet here, and we'll just activate it, and there you go with the yeah. Not that impressive, I've got to say. Not super impressive. They're not a lot brighter on the wrist section than it is on the helmet section, on the biomask. But it's not a deal breaker for me, because as regulars to the channel will know, I'm not a huge user of these light up features, so we'll switch that off. But the head itself, yeah, you've got a decent amount of movement, considering that he's dragging along all these superb dreadlocks, so that's going to limit the amount of movement you get. But you can get some sideways movement and some up and down movement, enough to get a decent pose out of him. As I say, limited in articulation, but overall, yeah, I think a cracking piece of work here from Neca. So let's get him back on this stand and going for a final verdict, and let's hope he will stand first time. Don't want this chap toppling over, because he will damage not only the table, but probably me as well if he goes arse over tit, as they say. So there he is. Is he stable? Yes, he is. Let's get him back in full shot and going for a verdict. So where to begin with this guy? Gotta say, I think Neca have done a cracking job here, even considering its age. I think this is a phenomenal piece. Scale absolutely on point, proportions correct, the sculpt really good considering its age and considering its price point. Colors are great, screen accuracy is there. Overall, I think it is a phenomenal piece that Neca have given us. It's just a real shame that Neca didn't go all in with their quarter scale figures. I know they do occasionally dip their toe in the water, but it would be nice to see them going all in again with their quarter scale figures, because I think this is phenomenal. And as I said earlier on, I display this with the Sideshow Dutch quarter scale figure, and I think they work phenomenally well together, even though price wise they are poles apart, and you can pay 10 times the amount that you would pay for this guy on a quarter scale Predator statue, and I think this is just a fantastically good action figure and a great alternative to super expensive statues. If you're a statue collector, that is. I'm more about the action figures, but well, a bit of both. But yeah, there you have it, folks. So that is Neca's Jungle Hunter Predator quarter scale. Is it a Grail or is it a fail? Tough one, this, because there are a lot of things that I would improve but have never quite got round to. Weathering could be slightly better. That needs touching up. These bindings, the bindings on the knees and on the elbows, could be slightly more screen accurate. I'm not keen on this sort of cheap Christmas wrapping nylon type material. I've always meant to get around to replacing them, but never quite managed it. The major thing here is the paint applications for me. And it really does show probably most on the plasma caster and on the blade gauntlet, where it's been a little bit, I won't say it's been rushed, but it could have been more detailed. But overall, yeah, I think it's a great quarter scale figure. I think, is it a Grail or is it a fail? So, final verdict. Right. Tough one, this. Tough one. I'm going to say it's a Grail. I don't think anybody has done a better quarter scale Predator. I don't think there are any other quarter scale Predators out there action figure wise. Correct me in the comment section below. So it's an easy contest for it. But yeah, I'm going to call this a Grail, simply because I think it is a fantastic piece of work. It's not without its shortcomings. It's not a frail, which is halfway between a Grail or a fail, because what they've done here, Neca, at the price point and for what you're getting, I think they've done simply superb work, and it still stands up today. So there you have it, folks. That's Neca's quarter scale Predator, and even all these years down the line, it's definitely a Grail as far as I'm concerned. So hope you've enjoyed this little bit of fun. Is it something you've got in your collection? Do you have any of the other Neca quarter scale Predators? Am I getting it wrong? Is it not a Grail at all? Am I missing the point completely? Please drop a comment in the comment section below. I will be fascinated to hear your take on this. Nothing is off menu as always, so if you want to drop a comment about whether it's a Grail or a fail, or anything about the Predator movies, or the new Hot Toys releases, the Predator lineup, anything at all, as I say, nothing's off menu. And I suppose all that remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching as always. What's coming up on the channel? Well, we have quarter scale action figures, we've got 6 scale action figures and statues, we've got stuff from Hot Toys, from InArt, from Susu Toys, Present Toys, Caustic Plastic, Exo6, Iconic Studios, the list goes on. So as I mentioned at the top there, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the quarter scale, 6 scale, statue, figure goodness that's coming up on the channel. Until next time on the channel, I suppose all it remains for me to say, from myself and from the Pred, take care of yourselves, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.